Hospital Porter's pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Herpanwo TV. And don't forget, health is sickness, freedom is lockdown, immune deficiency is strength. Well, welcome ladies and gentlemen. This is Long Lane here in Cowley, Oxford. I'll just give you a quick look up and down the road here. This is primarily a cycle track. I mean, this is easily wide enough, as you can see, to get a car along, but road traffic is not normally permitted here. There are gates to prevent cars actually driving down here. This is in the southeastern area of Oxford, not far from where I live. And I brought you here because, sorry, I went into the dark there. Something very strange happened to me last week. Actually, Monday last week. Today is, it's actually Friday the 22nd of October. This happened on Monday the 11th of October. And by the way, the background noise you can hear behind me is the Southern Bypass. There's basically, so these woods here, there's these trees and bushes. There's like a 30-foot reservation or so between here and the traffic. So I'm going to keep my voice turned up so you can actually hear me speak. But something very odd happened here to me. Or I don't know if it's specifically here, but this is the most likely location it happened, if it did happen. And if you read Herpanwo Voice, you'll already know that. Only I know hardly any of you do, which is why I keep having to repeat myself on Herpanwo TV. The Herpanwo Voice blog, I update it almost every day. Please do, go and see it. Sign up for notifications, because I put a new article on there almost every day. So I did this. I mean, I had about 40 hits, which is a fraction of what my videos get. Anyway, enough moaning. I appreciate you watching this video, I do, and watching my other videos. What happened? Something very strange happened to me last Monday. I'll give you a little, what happened was, I'll explain. I was at work, like I've just finished work today. I've been doing a bit of shopping here. That's actually for my own shopping, but I do other people's shopping as well. What happened was I finished. Now I do a job twice a week, usually on a Monday and Thursday. Sometimes it's other days, Tuesday, Friday, etc. I do some grocery shopping for an old lady. She lives in St Clement's, which is quite a long way from here. She can't get about very well. She's not very mobile, and her local superstore was shut down. So I come here to the Tesco superstore, which is just along this road, and I buy whatever she needs with money she gives me, with off a list she gives me, and I take it to her home. Now I know exactly, more or less, I know exactly how long that job takes, because I do another job beforehand, which I do on the same days of the week, usually on a Monday and Thursday, and that finishes at 3:15 p.m. on the dot. So I know exactly how long basically this job should take. What happens is, when I get to this lady's house, it's usually around about 4 o'clock. I mean, sometimes, give or take 5 minutes, sometimes a little bit more. It always takes about that, 3/4 of an hour, more or less. And I can time that very precisely, because, like I say, the previous job ends at 3:15 every day, every time I do it. Then I come and do this. And I don't normally hang around, because this shopping job for this old lady is my last job of the day, and I want to get it over with and go home. Now, last Monday, the 11th, I did that job for that old lady, like I always do and have done every week for the last 6 months or so, since I've been working for her. Now, like I said, sometimes it was all completely routine, right? Sometimes the job can take a little bit longer, because there's like 6 people ahead of you for the queue for the till. There's the buses. There's sometimes a traffic jam. I mean, I catch the bus from just where that bridge is over there. It's very regular, every 7 minutes or so at this time of the day. I never have to wait longer than 7 minutes. Sometimes the bus comes within 2 minutes. Last Monday, it came literally within 2 minutes of me arriving at the bus stop. So I had and everything else went according to plan. I just went back, I walked down from where my previous job is, which is just over there, up the end of this road here. I walked to the shop, bought it, came back, got the bus, took the bus to her place. The bus journey is usually about 9 to 10 minutes, depending on the traffic. Sometimes it's less, and depending on how many people get on and off and how many people are waiting at the stop. It all depends, but it's never usually more than 10 minutes, that bus journey. I didn't get off the bus. The lady's house is like just a few minutes walk from the bus stop. And I did that. Everything was completely routine. I had no reason to think last Monday anything was out of the ordinary. Absolutely no reason at all, or very little reason. I'll come to the maybe small reason in a minute. And then I went inside. I went to the shopping, got on the bus, came back, went into her house. She was actually out at the time, so I got a door key to her place. I let myself in, put the stuff in the fridge and the cupboard, and I went out. I got out the front door. I looked at my mobile phone clock. It said 4:43 p.m. What? It said 4:43 p.m. That doesn't make sense. It would make sense if, for example, the bus had broken down, there'd been a big traffic jam or something, and I had to stop for half an hour to talk to the police or something like that. Or if there'd been a fire or there'd been some kind of quarantine issue in the shop and they'd have to shut the doors till the ambulances arrived or something like that. Then it would make sense. But everything was routine, everything was normal. I'd say, in fact, there was only one person ahead of me in the queue, I remember. I waited 2 minutes for the bus, like I said. I shouldn't have been there any later than about 4 p.m. Latest 4:05 p.m. I reckon on that particular day. So what the hell happened? How come I get out of her? I went straight into the house, put the stuff away, and came out. Like I said, I was in a hurry to get off duty because when I finished that, I'm free. I got out of her house, looked at my clock. It says 4:43 p.m. What I had was, that is commonly known as missing time, and it's famous for many reasons within our circles, within our areas of research. I'll go through all the possibilities of what can cause missing time, but first of all I should say there are prosaic causes of it which do concern me, because it can be a symptom of a serious mental illness or brain damage, such as schizophrenia or a tumour or aneurysm or stroke. People who suffer from these conditions sometimes get missing time because what happens is they basically go into a seizure, and then when they come out of it they don't remember anything, even going into the seizure in the first place. They don't remember fainting. All that's happened is time has moved forward. Now the good news is, if I had any of those conditions, I should be experiencing other symptoms which I'm not. But it's also a symptom of other things. In fact, it's the title of a book. Missing Time is the title of a book by Bud Hopkins about alien abduction. And as you know, you must have watched the video. I hope you watched the video I did a couple of weeks ago about Betty and Barney Hill. They experienced missing time. There's several hours missing time. I know other people experienced missing time. Over the course of alien abduction, the A-70 abductees, they lost 4 hours. 4 hours just disappeared. In my case, I estimate, I say about 45 minutes. Ooh, to be conservative, I'd say 30, maximum 50 to 55 minutes I lost. But I reckon it couldn't have been really more than about 50 to 45 to 40 minutes. That's my estimate, 40 to 50 minutes, I'd say. Probably 45. How? As I said, everything was normal, everything was routine. There was there's none of the things you expect. I mean, along with the alien abduction, it's often associated with military abduction, MILABs, or mind control, mind control issues, things like MK Ultra and stuff like that. Now, in fact, there are people in the mind control research sphere who claim that alien abduction is simply another form of that. It's simply another form of MILAB, which is through hypnosis and drugs and stagecraft, it's made to look like aliens. This idea is it's not common in ufology, but it is present in ufology. For example, Dr. Stephen Greer believes this. I don't agree with that, but I do believe that some missing time incidents can be explained as MILABs. Now, as you know, if you're a regular viewer, I do have some reason to be concerned because of the implant I've got in my left arm and my interaction with the Tavistock Institute issue when I was a child. I mean, that's a minor thing, but generally speaking, nothing like this has ever happened to me before. Nothing. And I'm pleased to say, in the week and a half since this took place, it hasn't happened again. Everything's been normal, unless I'm somehow 45 minutes behind where I'm supposed to be today. But then you'll know that if you're watching this film. There's no reason at all to think that anything weird happened last Monday. Everything appeared normal. I wasn't checking the time, you see. I had no reason to. I just got out of this lady's house, and I got out of the lady's house and looked at the clock, and that's the first time I realised something was wrong. There was no, you know, this is the big, I mean, as soon as I realised what had happened, I thought, well, when did this happen? Where did it happen? And more importantly, how and why and who? If indeed there was a who, and I don't know what. I mean, I didn't see anything strange. There were no, you know, black cars with tinted windows curb crawling me. No strange guys in sunglasses with lipstick and pale skin. We're waiting on street corners, nothing like that. It was around about the same time as it is now, same time as the day, broad daylight, similar weather actually, similar weather. There was lots of people, as you see there are people passing me. This is a busy city, there's lots of people around. Was I ever out of sight of anyone at any particular time? Well, the only place I might have been out of sight of people was on this road, on this particular place, on this lane where it probably happened. And that's where there was a minor issue. As you can see, there's this reservation this green reservation between the bypass and this track, with there's trees and bushes. And unfortunately, as you can see, there's an awful lot of litter left lying around here. I was walking along here. It was around about here, actually. I mean, it might even have been through that gap there. See that gap there? It might have been through that gap there. I just nipped behind that tree because I needed the toilet, so I went behind the tree. You can do that. There's room in there if you're a bloke, at least. There's room in there where you can go in there and have a wee if you need to have a wee. And the thing is, when I was walking along here, I saw a person in the distance in that direction. I saw a person in the distance in that direction. Very long way away, probably where that white tree is in the distance, maybe further, just where the bend is. I saw a person, and just one person, and there was no one behind me. And I actually looked around me because I didn't want to see anyone, see anyone watch me. I didn't want people to watch me while I nipped in the bushes. You know, I wanted a bit of privacy, so I looked around me to see if anyone was there. There was one person in the distance. I nipped in the bushes. Now, the person I thought was the person's approaching me, so when I come out of the bushes, they'll be a little bit closer, maybe where that lamppost is, right? I got out of the bushes and they were gone. I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, I obviously made a mistake. They must have been walking in the other direction, not in this direction, because there's nowhere that you can turn off along here. There's an alleyway, but it's far too close. So they must have been just walking in the other direction. But that's all I can do. I mean, as soon as what happened was I wasn't going to talk publicly about this at first. I contacted a guy I know who's an abductee himself and researches these sorts of things in other people, and I told him what happened. I'm going to have a meeting with him next week and we're going to discuss it. I also phoned up another friend of mine who knows a lot about this sort of thing, and he told me to check my body for marks. I did, and I went to the bathroom, I checked my body for marks, including the back of my head with a mirror, and I couldn't find anything. Except, of course, for the mark on my upper left arm, which had been there for several years. There were no unusual marks on my body. I've had none of the other symptoms of post-abduction thing, you know, weird thoughts and feelings like Betty and Barney Hill had. You know, Betty wouldn't bring the luggage into the house and left it in the porch. They had to have a big shower. They had to clean themselves off. I didn't have anything like Betty and Barney Hill had, or anyone else. In fact, since then, my life has been pretty normal, I must say. Anyway, another guy actually commented on Facebook, because I thought I'd better write an article about this. I only wrote the article a couple of days later. It was actually on Wednesday, which was my birthday. I thought, well, I'll write an article, and I did. I'll explain why in a minute. Someone wrote underneath there, in a comment on Facebook, they said, Ben, go and look at the shopping receipt and your bus ticket. It'll tell you when at least you went into the shop and when you got on the bus. So I did that. Well, unfortunately, these were now, I just pulled them out of my pocket and put them in the recycling bin. Someone had dumped like a wet takeaway tray on top of that. The bin was almost full. I searched through it, I couldn't find it. There was a few bus tickets in there, I couldn't find the right one. Same with the shopping receipts. And unfortunately, Ahmad and Hossan wanted to change the bin, so I gave up in the end. Someone actually suggested that I go to my my bank card come, my bank and say, well, when did you? The payment should be recorded by my card, my bank card, when I actually bought that stuff in the shop. Unfortunately, you know, being the big libertarian I am, of course I paid with cash, didn't I? So no marks on my body, and since then I'm pleased to say I'm quite relieved. My life appears to be normal. My life appears to have gone back to normal, although of course I am concerned about this. Like I said, nothing like this has ever happened to me before. I've had none, and since then I've had none of the usual post-abduction symptoms, you know. Cats and dogs don't growl at me, things like that. Oh, you know, what Whitley Strieber talks about, Betty and Barney Hill talk about. Nothing like that has happened. I've had none of that at all. Since last Monday, my life has gone back to normal. This is the third time I've done this journey to the shops. I've done 2 jobs, twice I've done it for the old lady, and once today I'm doing it for myself. And I'm actually doing it again tomorrow for the old lady, actually. Even though tomorrow's a Saturday, I think I'm doing it. She wants it either done tomorrow or Monday. I'll do it tomorrow. It's been completely normal. I finished roundabout, well, once it was 4, I did finish at 4:15 at one point, basically because the shop was busy. And I also stopped off in another shop to buy something for myself. But basically, everything's been normal since then. And I hope it stays that way, because this is unnerving when this happens. I've researched this sort of thing many times. I've read Bud Hopkins' book. I've talked to people. I've taken an interest in this sort of thing many, many times. When it happens to other people, but I tell you, when it happens to, now it's happened to me, it feels very different. There may be some non-weird explanation for what happened, but I can't think of it right now. I honestly can't think of it. If I do think of one, it'll probably be a relief, actually. It really would be. The reason I decided to write the article 2 days later, and this is the reason I'm making this video now, is I wasn't going to tell anyone. I was going to discuss it with my friend next week, and I was going to maybe discuss it with a few more people and keep it to myself. But then I thought, I had a chilling thought, what if I do something really horrible? What if I do something really horrible, and which I don't intend to do, and I don't remember doing? It's interesting. I mean, you know, Sirhan, the guy who allegedly shot Bobby Kennedy in 1968, he's actually been granted parole. He hasn't been released yet, but he's had a parole hearing which has recommended his release. At the age of 77, he's going to get out. I wonder what he's going to have to say. I've got to interview him on the Herpanwo show. But Sirhan was arrested and charged and convicted of shooting Bobby Kennedy, and he's protested his innocence. He doesn't even remember doing it. And indeed, if you listen to the audio that were recorded that day, you hear rapid fire, which indicates there was more than one weapon discharging. I mean, he allegedly had a pistol. You can only like go bang, bang, bang. It's like a revolver. You can only fire at a particular short rate, but you can hear 2 weapons being fired. Nevertheless, he was jailed, and he's being released. Now, I don't say that's what's going to happen, or that's what someone's going to make me do. But I just thought, if that happens, if I did, because I mean, I'm a nice guy, you know. I'm a decent. I'm not violent. I'm not aggressive. I'm not hateful, and I wouldn't you do something illegal or grotesque or obscene to further some end. So what if I do something like that? What are people going to think? What are people going to think if I do something like that? Well, this is why I want to make this video. This is why I wrote the article. Because if I do, I want you to know that I didn't. Do you know what I mean? I'm like Sirhan. But I didn't. I didn't mean to. It was someone else controlling me. That's what I'm saying. It's a long shot, but this is a precaution. I'm protecting myself. And if anyone has plans to try and make me do something like that, be warned. People will see this video and they will not believe you. They will not believe that I did it. Okay? Then the effect you want will not be there. You can just see the headlines, you know, and conspiracy theorist, alien believer, guns down, or something like that, you know, and then you see my mugshot on the evening news. If that were to happen, I just want you to know it's something I have absolutely no intention of doing. I wouldn't do. I don't think I'd be capable of doing such a thing. That's all I can tell you, really. I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for what happened to me. Nothing like this happened since. I'm glad. I mean, everything's been normal since. As I said, I have no memory of any experience previously that would lead me to believe I was the kind of person that this sort of thing happened to. No memory at all. By the way, I mentioned this on the Kev Baker show the other night as well, so you can watch that too. The recording's available. Anyway, that's it for now. If anything happens again, I will be back with another video soon if I don't get abducted. In the meantime, thank you for watching Her Panwo TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.